you, Tim. I love those introductions. I just don't know why I can't hear it a second time before I speak. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really happy to be here again. These book festivals are so wonderful. I'm glad to have a chance to talk to you. I've got a plan. I'm going to start by interviewing myself, by asking myself some questions I'm asked a lot. As part of my answers, I'll tell you about and read you a few parts of 2 new children's books. And then I'll give you boys and girls, and maybe some grown-ups, a chance to raise your hand and ask me questions. Is that okay with everyone? Okay. First question. So, Mrs. Viorst, how did you get to be a published writer? With great difficulty. I started writing all the way back when I was 7 years old. Since 2nd grade, I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to take all my feelings in here and all my ideas up here and put them down in different ways on paper. So I started writing poems and writing them down with a sharpened pencil in my best printing, and I sent them, sure that they were masterpieces and were going to be published, to the magazines my mom read every month. But all I got back were rejections, enough to at least fill this room. And though I kept writing and sending them back for what felt like a million years, I didn't get to have not one single word published until I was way, way, way over 30. That was when some editor finally decided to publish the poems I've been writing for, did I say a billion years. Second question, where do you get your ideas? I get my ideas from everywhere. I still write what's in here and what's up here, and I still remember what it feels like to be a kid. What helped me remember first was my own 3 sons, that's Anthony and Nick and Alexander, 3 real boys, who are now all grown up with children of their own. And now what helps me remember are their children, my 7 grandchildren, Miranda and Bryce in Denver, and Benjamin and Nathaniel from New York, and Alexander and Marla's 3 sons who live right near me, Olivia and Isaac and Toby. But back when my kids were kids, they were the kids I first wrote books for and wrote books about. And if the kids in my books weren't honeys and angels and darlings and little sweetie pies, that's because angels and darlings and sweetie pies were definitely not my kids. No. My boys weren't neat or always polite or always well behaved. They were loud, very loud, and also sloppy. They bled a lot. They spilled a lot of things, they fought, they got into trouble, they acted real silly. And when they wanted to whisper a special secret in my ear, it wasn't, "I love you, Mommy," it was, "Joel down the street has stinky feet." No, they weren't the most perfect little people in the world, they were kids. And from them I got ideas about monsters and getting into trouble and terrible days and moms who make mistakes. Seriously, do moms ever make mistakes? I'm hearing no from the moms. How about kids? Kids, do moms ever make mistakes? I think so. Anyway, that's where I got my ideas, from my kids and my kids' kids and the little kid who still lives inside of me. Third question. Mrs. Viorst, you write lots and lots of books for kids, but you also write books for grown-ups too. Isn't it confusing to keep switching back and forth from kids to grown-ups? The answer is actually it's not that hard at all, because what I have found out is that all of us, little people and big people, share many, many, many of the same feelings and are interested in many of the same things. And these are the things and feelings I like to write about, both for kids and grown-ups. For instance, grown-ups sometimes worry. Kids, do kids sometimes worry? Yeah, I think so. We all worry sometimes. I worry, you worry, we all do. So I just wrote this new children's book about a kid who It's called And Two Boys Booed. It's about a kid who is going to sing a song at a talent show. He was going to sing his song in front of his class at the school talent show, and he didn't think he was one bit scared or worried. In fact, he was sure he wasn't because, as he explained, I had practiced 1 billion times, plus I was wearing my lucky blue boots and my pants with cool pockets. Here aren't these great boots? And these are wonderful illustrations with flaps, so look, you can see what's in the pockets. Anyway, he was sure he wasn't worried. But then the talent show begins, and 5 other kids in the class are going before him. And after Chloe reads her poem, and after Henry walks on his hands, and after Georgia dances and Leo juggles some balls, there is only one kid left, and then it is going to be his turn to get up there in front of the class and sing. And here he is, but you're going to have trouble seeing him because he is so scared that he is hiding in his shirt. Can anybody see him at all? He's the little one in the striped shirt. In each picture he hides more and more until by the end you can't even see his face anymore. Well, after the last kid, Madeline, shows everyone the picture she has painted, it's now, with everyone looking at him and waiting, it's now his turn to get up and sing a song. Well, he gets up, he sits down, he gets up, he sits down, and then he keeps sitting down because he's way too worried, too scared to sing a song. And that's when 2 boys in his class, 2 not so nice boys, well, they boo. Boo, boo, which makes him even more worried and scared and upset and confused and mixed up. And I'm not going to tell you what happens after that. I'm only saying that this was one very scared, very worried boy, and I'm saying that even grown-ups can feel this way too. I mean, just because I'm standing right here at this moment talking to you doesn't mean that I never used to worry that maybe I'd stand up and open my mouth and no words would come out. Or I'd get up in front of you and I'd say, hi, my name is Judith. What is my own last name? Well, I don't worry like that anymore, but I certainly used to. Now, in addition to worry, grown-ups and kids, most everyone in the world, sometimes feel mad or sad or glad, even silly. Anyone in this room ever feel mad or glad or silly? Kids? Yeah, happens. Me too. So I write about those feelings for everybody, little people and big ones. And I'll tell you another thing. All of us kids and all of us grown-ups, sometimes we'll have some not nice thoughts, even about our very own brothers and sisters. Maybe especially about our very own brothers and sisters. Now, brothers and sisters love each other, but sometimes they also seriously annoy each other. And sometimes when a brother or sister is getting on our nerves, we might even wish that they'd fall in a hole. Does anyone here have an annoying brother or sister? Okay, now here's a harder question. Has anyone here ever been an annoying brother or sister? Come on, admit it, admit it. Okay, you can do it too. Well, I've written a lot about that. And I've also written about embarrassing moments, like stepping in the dog poop at a birthday party. Because embarrassing moments happen to everyone, because it seems we're never too old to finally stop doing and saying some really dumb things. I also write about people having bad days. Now, sometimes you'll hear a grown-up say, I slipped on the ice, I spilled some soup on my shirt, I can't find my glasses, I also can't find my keys. Everything's wrong, nothing is right, and I am having a really, really bad day. So I've written about the bad days that happen to grown-ups, but certainly boys and girls have bad days too, which is why I wrote this first book for my own son, Alexander, who just had so many bad days. This is a kid, if he sat on a chair, the way some of you are sitting on the chair, he'd be wiggling so much he'd slip and fall and get a knee injury. Not playing soccer, just sitting. So For him, I wrote a book called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. Now, if you remember in this book, some of you who have read it, that Alexander is so unhappy with his terrible day that he keeps on saying he's going to move to Australia. Except, as his mom explains at the end of this book, bad days happen in Australia too. Now, ever since I wrote this book, people have wanted to make a movie about it. And finally, after a whole lot of trying, they have. It's coming out in October, and it's made by Disney, which makes lots of nice movies. And it's a live action film that is called exactly like the book, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I could look at that on the screen for a really long time. Now, in the movie, they found a special new kid named Ed Oxenbould, who's playing Alexander, and a really good-looking actress playing me, Jennifer Gardner. And the dad is this very funny actor named Steve Carell, who was once in a movie called Despicable Me, actually Despicable Me 1 and 2, which I've seen, both of them. I don't think he's going to look like this in the actual live movie. So he's playing Alexander's dad, and there is even a surprise, delicious appearance by Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins, though he's not playing Chim Chimney in that. Anyway, it's a very cute movie. I took my whole family to see it. We all went crazy at the screening. I hope you guys will go and see it too, but back to the book. After I wrote my first Alexander, boys and girls kept sending me lots of letters, funny letters and some sad ones too, about their own terrible, horrible, awful days. I also got letters that boys and girls wanted me to give to Alexander, letters with interesting pictures and lots of advice for him. So I'm going to read you just some of the letters. Dear Alex, get used to the bubble gum. I had to use a vacuum to get gum out of my hair. And please don't move to Australia. They have way badder days. Signed, Justin. P.S. You rock. And here's a sad one. Dear Alexander, for me, every day is a bad day. Regards, Sam. Dear Alexander, next time you have a bad day, don't let things bother you so much. Colleen, P.S. What is your favorite color? Alexander, I know how you feel, but cheer up. Everybody has bad days, even me. Signed, Hannah. Dear Alexander, I get pushed in the mud all the time. Don't get upset, Erica. And maybe my favorite of the letters said, Dear Alexander, whenever you have a bad day, blame your brothers.